used to eat a lot of pizza, for
Yeah.
example,
Okay, Matthias. So what
and
we're, yeah. Mm-hmm.
um, I used to play ping pong
Mm-hmm.
when I was a child.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Mm, what
Okay,
else?
okay, Matthias. Matthias, did you used to, for example, to play a lot of video games when you were a boy?
Yes, I
Mm.
used to play a lot of video games,
Did you used to play alone or did you used to play with some friends?
but
Oh,
alone
mm,
and something with friends or cousins, my brothers, my dad.
okay, okay. Thank you, Matthias. Thank you. Okay, for people
Okay.
who are not present today, we are recording now. And what we did before, we couldn't start, I mean, recording at the beginning, but now we're doing it. What we did is we checked, the exercises that I sent yesterday, and they are in Google Classroom, and they have to do with used to. That's what we're doing. Javiera Cornejo, can you tell me some of the things that you could see in these pictures that I sent you yesterday? The things that you used to do or you didn't used to do? Just give me two examples, no more. Two
Two
examples.
examples.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't used to drink from a baby bottle,
Okay. All right.
and I used to believe in Santa Claus.
Okay. And Javiera, did you used to receive lots of presents when you were a girl, a little girl?
Yeah, see, kinda.
Okay. So I guess that your parents used to give you lots of presents when you were a little girl, right?
Yes.
And what do you remember what presents did you used to receive when you were a little girl?
Um. No.
Did you used to receive
Toys.
dolls, for example?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
received a lot of dolls.
And did you receive, for example, a bicycle?
Yeah, once.
Okay. And did you used to ride a lot?
Um, Not that much. I was afraid of
Yeah.
riding my bicycle.
Yeah, because maybe of your age or maybe
Yes.
because of the place where you used to live. Okay, thank you. Krishna, what about you, Krishna? Krishna, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Fine. Okay, Krishna, what are the things that you used to do when you were a little girl? Did you used to drink from a baby bottle? Did you used to drink milk from a baby bottle?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I used
And
to
did you
do.
used to suck a mummy? A dummy, sorry, not mummy, a dummy.
No, no, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Okay.
No.
And did you used to be afraid of ghosts at night?
Uh, how do I say
I didn't.
until now?
Hmm?
Hasta
Okay.
ahora?
Yeah, until now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why, because I think that they doesn't exist,
They don't
but I'm
exist. Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah, maybe because someone told you about stories about ghosts when you were a very little girl, and that was
Yes,
in your mind.
La Llorona, El
Yeah,
Viejo El
yeah.
Sapo.
So I think this is not right. People shouldn't do this.
No,
It's not good. Okay.
really bad.
All right. And did you used to ride a bike when you were a little girl?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I like that.
Okay. And did you used to play with dolls?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I
Good.
used to play with dolls.
And did you used to bite your nails when you were a little girl?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Do you
Mm-mm.
know bite your nails is?
Like, how do I
For
say?
example, use the body language to express the meaning. Use your body language. So when someone bites his or her
Yes,
nails is when you do this. You know?
yes,
Yeah.
but I don't remember if when I
You
was a
uh,
little girl,
girl, if I used to.
I used to do. I
Yeah.
don't remember. I
Okay.
don't know.
And what, Krishna, this is the last question for you. What did you really, what did you really used to do when you were a little girl? Do you remember?
I used to watch a few movies,
Uh-huh. Okay.
a lot of movies.
Movies, okay. But did you
Mucha,
used
mucha.
to see movies about according to
Animals.
age?
Animals, Heidi,
Okay, I see.
Angel.
The angel, and those kind of things. Okay, thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you very much to everybody. Catalina, how are you, Catalina Diaz? I haven't seen you. Catalina, are you okay? Cata, solicita reactivar el audio. It says here.
I
Catalina.
think washing the dishes.
Ah,
She's
okay.
she said that in the chat.
All right. Okay, so let's go on then, right? So here we are. So please go now to people who are watching this video because they couldn't be here today. We are working with the unit number 4, and we are on page 38, 39, 38, 39. Okay, and let me see here. I put it. Yeah, Javiera Cornejo. Okay, Javiera Cornejo is from here, right? All right, so we are in exercise number 5, I guess. Number 5, Javiera, I have written here your name. I put your name to remember me. Javierita, I put your name here in the book. Puse tu nombre para acordarme dónde quedé. Javiera, so I put it here, Javiera. Okay, Javiera?
Okay.
Do you remember, Javiera, that point? Ese punto, el número 5, dice tarea Javiera Cornejo. Okay, Javiera, so this is on page 38. Page 38, exercise 5. Ejercicio 5, exercise 5. So we are going to check that. Vamos a checar el ejercicio 5, just in case. All right? Yes? Are you following me? ¿Me están siguiendo? Are you following me? Exercise
Yes.
5. Yeah, remember, page 38. All right, it says here, exercise 5. Which of the nouns in the box collocate with fresh, public, and work? Okay, so what we are reviewing in this number 5 is collocations. And remember that when we say collocations in English are very important, especially for people who are studying English, you know, and in this case, you see you because you're going to be English teachers in the future, right? And in this case, you know, collocations are really, really relevant, okay? Because we know that there are certain words that collocate with certain nouns or verbs with certain nouns, etc. Okay? For example, I was asking this morning to one of my students in the other group that which is the verb that collocates with age, and I say, how can you tell me, for example, your age? And she said, I have 18 years old. Well, you see that when people say I have 18 years old, this is correct or incorrect, babies? I have 18 years old. Krishna, Matthias, yeah, Danai, okay. Karen, Krishna, is it correct or not, Krishna? I have 18 years old, Krishna.
No.
No, why not?
I don't know. I just see that I. Sorry, Miss. Es que no presté atención, lo siento, que
Okay,
estoy,
okay, don't worry. No,
estoy un
I
poquito
was just
ocupadita.
teasing Krishna. Krishna,
And I got scared.
yeah, listen to me, Krishna.
Honest.
Please listen.
Yes.
I say that it is correct. Is it correct in English, for example, when people say, I have 18 years old? What do you think?
Yes, I am, or no?
Yeah,
I am
yes,
18 years
Krishna.
old.
Good, excellent, baby, because this is correct.
Yes.
You see, good.
Thank you.
Because the collocation in English is when you express your age is the verb to be. So we always say,
It's like,
I am.
yo soy.
Yeah,
Como,
yeah,
yo
but
soy
yeah,
tantos años.
yeah, but we never say yo soy, yo tengo, but this is the collocation. This is when you start studying English. Cuando uno empieza a aprender
Sí, po.
inglés, when you
Yes.
start learning English and you don't translate y ya no traduces, porque no hay necesidad de traducir al comienzo, in your head, aquí en la cabecita, is every time we say the age, we use the verb be. For example, if I say the age of my dad, I say, my father is. No, my father has. That's incorrect. My father is 40 years old. My mother is 45 years old. Or my grandma is 80 years old. Axel is 18 years old. Karen is 18 years old, for example. You see, this is correct. If you listen to someone, if you listen to someone that says, hey, my sister has 5 years old, and say, hey, come on, this is not correct. Careful, because in English, good English is she is. Okay, she is 5 years old or she is 7 years old. All right. This has to do with collocation, right? When we say, for example, collocations, people, make mistakes. For example, what verb collocates with bed? When you do this, hey, in the morning, you open the window, right? And then you have to, maybe clean your bedroom, right? With the windows open. And then you have your bed. So what is the verb that collocates with this? When you your bed. What is the correct thing? Do you do your bed? Do you make your bed? What is the right collocation? Do you know? How do you say that? Make, correct. Make, never do, nunca do. It's you make your bed, okay? So this has to do with collocations. A eso se refiere las collocations that we are going to start studying. Vamos a partir de a poquito. We're going to start studying, learning them little by little. Next semester, in my subject, which is called Taller de Gramática Comunicativa, you're going to learn these things. Van a aprender todo. Learn these things, right? Collocations, compound nouns, etc. Suffixes, prefixes, etc., etc. Now we're going to have an idea, a general idea about these collocations, okay? For example, let's see if you have an idea about about which of these words, collocate with the adjective fresh, or with the adjective public, or it could be with the word work. All right, that sometimes it could be, it can be used as a noun, as a verb, as an adjective, etc. Okay, can we check this? For example, bread. When you talk about bread, for instance, if I say in this morning, where is Javiera? I think that she has left. Where is she?
Me? I'm here.
No, it's an example, Javiera. I'm giving an example.
Ah, perdón.
Yeah, okay. Where is Javiera? Okay, where is Javiera? I said, well, she has just left, right? She has gone. And where is she? She went to the bakery because her mother wants to buy, the bread that has just been, let's say, for example, cooked in the oven. So that bread is what? Fresh, you see? So we can say then fresh bread, you see? So when I talk about bread that has just been, cooked in the oven, we say, wow, this bread is delicious. It's hot, it's fresh, right? So with bread, we can, for example, use the adjective fresh, right? Fresh bread. Okay, so do you have any idea, or can you imagine about, for example, holiday? We have holidays that are and others that are, etc., etc. What is the adjective that you can imagine we can use with holiday? Holiday, we have some holidays. For example, September the 18th is a holiday. Or it could be other holidays, right? In Chile, we have lots of holidays. So what is the holiday? We can have a
work holiday.
I wouldn't say work.
Ay, que aquí decía en el libro work.
Okay, it says work. Where does it say work?
Dice hay que usar los nouns de fresh, public y work.
Work, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but which one collocates? Which one collocates with holiday?
Ah, no sé.
No idea? Public holiday in English. Yeah, in English we refer to the public holiday. So when we say public holiday, it means, es no como decir pública, cuidado, porque con las traducciones uno se equivoca. Public holidays refers to those holidays where all the people, that's why they call public, all the people in the country, or yeah, in the country, for example, here in Chile, you know, it's public because nobody goes to work. So that's why it's a public holiday, all right? Okay, and then we have the word out that we can make, you see, a noun with these two words. What is the one that collocates with out? Especially related to, yeah, workout. What is workout? What do you mean by workout? This is a word that is usually used when you go to the gym. So what is workout? Can you tell me in English? Try to express now, little by little, you are speaking more, so you are able now at this moment to explain in English. Or you can use your body language, that I use it a lot. What is workout?
Training.
Karen, te escucho.
Training.
Ah,
Or something like that.
Okay, it has to do with training. Yeah, okay, good, training. Yeah, so do exercise. That's workout or training. Yes, when you go, for example, to the gym, you know, to be trained, this is to work out because you're doing exercise. Okay, good. All right, the other one is book. Yeah, remember that in English, we use these kind of things, right? This is what we call course book, right? Course book or student's book sometimes. But when you, for example, do a lot of exercises, how do you call this, the book, when you have lots of exercises in English? How do you call it? That is very common. When you were in a school, for example, and in English subject, maybe your teacher asked you two books, the student book, and the other one is called the, do you remember?
Work.
Yeah, good, excellent. We call workbook. We usually have two books, simply those, student's book and workbook, right? This is very typical, especially in the schools, workbook and student's book. Workbook is where you have exercises, you know, lots of exercises, you know, I mean, for example, to reinforce contents. All right, so we have workbook. Ideas, what about the ideas? Can the ideas be public? It sounds awful, public ideas. What about ideas? Can you imagine? What does it sound? How do you feel? Fresh, good. Fresh ideas. So, for example, I say, okay, babies, I want some ideas, but I want fresh ideas. What do you think I mean when I say fresh ideas? What do you have in mind? What do you imagine in English? What is the meaning of fresh ideas? Can you have a, sorry, Danai?
New ideas?
Yeah, good. Like a new idea, fresh. That's the idea. Okay, good. Then we have services. When you go to the city or in different cities, we always have, you know, different kinds of services. Many services in a city are, so what is the adjective?
Public.
Yes, accent, good. Public, right, we have public services. For example, we have the registry office. It's a public service. It's not private. No es privado, private, it's public. The registry office, where you go to get a certificate, or where you go when you get married, or when someone dies, you have to go to the registry office too, right? Registro civil. That's a public service. Okay, good. Then we have experience. When you apply for a job, you usually write a cover letter, and in your cover letter, you usually attach your CV, your curriculum. And in your CV, there is a part that's very important, and it's called experience. So what is the adjective that you use? You say, I have worked in Valparaiso
Work.
University. Yes, Danai, very good. Work experience, work. So there you write information about the places where you have worked. All right. And let me see here. It says man, man. What do you put here in man? Man.
Freshman?
Yeah, okay. Freshman. What do you mean by freshman?
Like the high school related?
Okay. Yeah. Or fresh, for example, when you say fresh students also, what do we mean when you say fresh students? Freshmen. We have the freshmen, we say. Students, so they are the ones that are starting, for example, the process in university, right? Good. That's freshman. Start. What do you put with start? Start. It could be a
Fresh?
work. Fresh. Yeah, that's correct. Fresh start. So we have a fresh start. So this is something new, something excellent, etc. When we talk about fruit, when you go to the open market, to buy fruit, we always see in the open market this kind of fruit. So how do you call this fruit? In the open market, in the supermarket, I can see the fruit. The fruit look, pretty. Look, I mean, fresh. Good, fresh. Fresh fruit. It's not rotten. It's fresh. All right, and we have opinion. Yeah, the opinion can be. When I say the opinion is very interesting because they are telling me what it is happening all over the city. So this is what kind of opinion? This is
Public?
public. Good. Public opinion. Correct. Public opinion. And finally, we have toilets. Toilets. What are toilets? Any idea about toilets, Matia? What are toilets, Matias? What do you mean by that? Can you explain me, or can you use your body language or whatever? Matias, toilets. What do you mean by that, Matias?
Toilet.
Sorry?
Is the thing that is in the bathroom or no?
Yeah, okay. Toilets, the word toilets refer, Matias, to the place. It's a place where people go, of course, to have a pee and other things. Or you can wash your hands also, but that's toilets. Toilets. So in English, we have public toilets. When you go, for example, to sometimes in different countries, depending on where you are, you can find, a sign, a sign, and it says, for example, toilets. And then here's it, women toilets, men toilets. So you go there, right? So eso también se refiere a un baño, a los baños, toilets. They are, like restrooms, como los restrooms for example, when you go to the big airports, it doesn't say bathroom, it says restrooms. This is the place, it's a more comfortable place than a toilet, more comfortable, because you find there sofas and you can have, for example, showers and of course the bathroom, right? This is restrooms in airports, more comfortable, right? You can change clothes there in the airport, in the restroom, right? Okay, and so we have public toilets because they can be used by everybody. They are public toilets, right? Okay, number 6 says you're going to hear 3 people. Now, this is a listening, 3 people describing where they live. Yeah. First of all, I want you to tell me what a city is. Give me all the information you have in your mind here. What are suburbs and what is the countryside? Okay, first let's start with a city. Where do you live now? Do you live in a city? Do you live in the suburbs or do you live in the countryside? Where do you live? Krishna, where do you live? In a city?
In a city.
Okay, in a city. City. You
City.
pronounce s, la t, alveolar. Alveolar, usted ya sabe fonética, alveolar sound. City. City. A city by the bay. City. Okay. You live in a city. Good. Axel, where do you live? Do you live in a city, in a suburb, or in the countryside?
In a countryside.
Yeah. Yes.
A city, but my town is a countryside.
Yeah. So he lives in the countryside because his town is countryside. Good.
No, it's
Karen,
countryside.
where do you live? Do you live in the suburbs or in the city or in a countryside? Karen, do you live in the city or in the countryside?
In the city.
In the city? Okay, good. And you, Gabriela, where do you live? In the city or in the countryside or in the suburbs?
In the city.
In the city. Who lives in a suburb here? In the suburbs?
Profe, ¿qué significa eso en Chile?
Suburbs, suburbios. En los suburbios. Corresponde en Chile a, for example, when I say suburbios, yo vivo en los suburbios de la ciudad. It means that you live a little bit far. Sorry?
Sería como afuera de la ciudad, ¿no? Algo así.
Claro, pero un poquito alejado de la ciudad. Esos son los suburbios. Por ejemplo, en Placilla, en Valparaíso, hay un barrio, ¿cierto? Que es bien conocido. ¿Cómo se llama ese barrio? En Placilla. ¿Lo conocen? Que está arriba en Placilla, donde hay colegios, hay casas, hay hasta edificios, hay malls. ¿Se me olvidó?
¿Curauma?
Es Curauma. Curauma es a suburb. Eso es un suburbio. ¿Viste? Que significa suburbio que está en los alrededores de la ciudad. Not so far, not so, near. It's like a little bit far. Un poquito lejos nomás. Porque no es tan lejos. You take the bus and 20 minutes up. 20 minutos, it's about 20 minutes from Avenida Argentina. It takes the route, toma la ruta, the route, 67, I guess. And then, about 20 minutes up, you can arrive, you see, at these suburbs, right? So there are many people who live in the suburbs in Valparaiso. Also in Viña, for example, we have suburbs, we have lots of suburbs in Viña del Mar too, right? Okay, so, can you explain me now, Danae, what is a city? If someone asks you, define a city, baby, what do you say?
A city is an area.
Yeah, okay.
That has a lot of services. It's not only with houses.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There is supermarkets. I don't know.
The city, okay, Danae, good. The city offers a lot of, public services or services in general or facilities. We can also call much better facilities, right? The city offers a lot of facilities. For example, supermarkets. What else? Supermarkets, cinemas. What else? We have supermarkets, we have cinemas, bookstores, we have also libraries, different kinds of shops, right?
Hospitals.
So we have malls, right? What else, Axel? The city?
Hospitals.
Yeah, good, very good. Hospitals, clinics, also clinics, hospital, public transportation, public and private transportation, okay? So these are the facilities that the city has. Also, another facility, pubs in Valparaiso. We have lots of pubs in the city. Pubs, discos, restaurants. Those are the facilities the city, offers, all right? Good. Now, can you describe then, Javiera, for you, what is a suburb? Can you describe a suburb?
That will be like
An area, as Danae said.
an area, yeah, but
An area of land, yeah.
that it's not so far from the city, but not so close.
Yeah, where people live.
Yes.
People live, and also the suburbs also offer lots of facilities, right? For example, in Curauma, you can see that people have banks, they have schools, they have supermarkets, they have malls, right?
¿En serio?
Yes, of course, yeah. They have supermarkets and they have very good schools. There are, I think, 3 schools, subsidized and private, right? I have many students that are doing their practicum in the schools in Curauma, and they say that they are good schools with good facilities in the school, right? Okay, Javiera, so you should go and know this suburb that is called Curauma. It's a very big place, and you know, when you go, you need time because it's big, and you also have there's how do you call this place? Oh, there's a place there where you can go and buy, but at cheaper prices. This is the place that you can find also in Curauma, right? Okay, so we know. And finally, we're going to ask Axel, because Axel lives in the countryside. He can, you know, maybe he knows the place and he can tell me, he can describe what the countryside is and what things you find in the countryside. Axel, I am all ears. What is the countryside?
My countryside?
Yes, or in general.
Okay.
In general, the countryside is?
The countryside is big.
Yeah.
We in the countryside, we don't have facilities. For example, we don't have a hospital, schools.
Right.
But we have one public bus.
Yeah. One public bus? Imagine, only one.
One public bus, yeah. And the bus pass for 1 hour.
Yeah, so the bus runs every 1 hour. Okay, every 1 hour. Imagine, every 1 hour. Okay.
Every 1 hour.
Yeah.
What else? We have different kind of animals.
Yeah, we have different kinds of animals. Yeah, like cows, you know, horses.
Binders. We have binders. And
and you have farms also. You have farms. Some farms are there, right? Farms.
Yeah.
So it's a small place, usually the countryside. La carne. Este era bacalique. Okay, so you see, we find in the countryside, this is usually smaller. It's smaller than a city, but it's always a beautiful place with a lot of green areas, because we always see trees, you know, grass, and we also find farms there, you see, and with lots of animals like cows, you see, horses, pigs. We also, people have their, you know, hens, etc. Right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, babies, we are going to be ready then to listen to this. We're going to hear 3 people describing where they live. Pay attention how they describe the place where they live, because now you have to do the same in the future. Listen and match the speakers, 1, 3. So we're going to listen to 3 speakers. And we have to match, you know, to the speakers, to the places where they live. So if the speaker 1, where does the speaker 1 live? Does the speaker 1 live in the city, or in the suburbs, or in the countryside? So you have to identify that. Okay, so for that, I have to share again the screen. Te voy a compartir. Wait a minute. Uf, ya estoy apareció aquí, vaya a ser. Wait a minute. Ya. Ok, entonces, tengo que salir de acá también. Y salir de acá también. Yep, here we are. So, let's see, active. Go preliminary. Okay. This is unit 4, right? 4. Two? No. Oh, aquí está pesado. No quiere nadie. Let me see. There it is. Okay, so this is unit number 4. Here we are, number 4. All right. And we are in number 4. Pay attention to this. This is, what is the page after this? Después de esta. Yeah. Okay, here we are. Yeah, this is the page. So we are here. In this exercise, you will hear 3 people, ta, 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 ta. So we go to this page. Yeah.
Unit 4.
Listen.
Vocabulary focus. Activity 6. Speaker 1.
I guess you've got a bit more space and the air's fresher. We still live close enough to the city to go in at the weekend. But there aren't any local shops near my house, and I have to drive 15 minutes to get a pint of milk. There isn't a lot going on where I live either. I work in the city and have to spend an hour on the train getting to the office, so I'm too tired to cook when I get home. I eat far too many takeaways.
Speaker 2. Everybody thinks I have friendly neighbours who I see every day, but my family lives miles from anywhere, and there's no one else my age nearby. If I go out at night, I can't get home because there's no public transport. I'm not sure there's much fresh air either. The farmer next door puts some strong chemicals on the fields in summer. I love my school though.
Okay.
Speaker 3.
Everyone says it must be really expensive living here. Okay, so there are really high rents where I live, but I save money on other things. I take public transport everywhere. My little flat is so small, my heating bills are tiny. I live in a lively neighborhood. I know the people who run the cafe downstairs, so I can go in anytime I fancy a chat, which I just love.
That is the end. Okay, so I'm just going to wait a minute because there's a noise. A track is there. Okay, we're going to listen to it again because
Vocabulary
of the noise.
focus. Activity 6. Speaker 1.
I guess you've got a bit more space and the air's fresher. We still live close enough to the city to go in at the weekend. But there aren't any local shops near my house, and I have to drive 15 minutes to get a pint of milk. There isn't a lot going on where I live either. I work in the city and have to spend an hour on the train getting to the office, so I'm too tired to cook when I get home. I eat far too many takeaways.
Speaker 2. Everybody thinks I have friendly neighbours who I see every day, but my family lives miles from anywhere, and there's no one else my age nearby. If I go out at night, I can't get home because there's no public transport. I'm not sure there's much fresh air either. The farmer next door puts some strong chemicals on the fields in summer. I love my school though.
All right.
Speaker 3.
Everyone says it must be really expensive living here. Okay, so there are really high rents where I live, but I save money on other things. I take public transport everywhere. My little flat is so small, my heating bills are tiny. I live in a lively neighborhood. I know the people who run the cafe downstairs, so I can go in anytime I fancy a chat, which I just love.
Okay. Nice. very interesting. Okay, as you see, we have people, you see, in this case, right, from different places. They live in different places, right? So we are going to identify them first. You see, the speaker one, remember we have the speaker one, the speaker one, you see, he says that, he says that the air is kind of fresh or fresher, because they say that he still lives close to the to the city to go in at the weekend, but the person has to drive like a 15 minutes, I say 15 minutes to get to a pint of milk, and she says there's a lot going on where I live either. And she works in the city, you see, and she has to spend an hour on the train getting to the office. She's too tired, to cook. And when she gets home, and she eats, far too many takeaways. Okay, so this is the speaker one. What about the speaker one? So what do you say here? Where does the speaker one live? In the city, in the suburbs, or in the countryside? What do you think, baby?
Suburbs.
Yeah, I agree with you, baby. This is the correct answer. She lives in the suburbs, right? She lives in the suburbs because remember, she doesn't live in the city itself. She lives a little bit far because she has to take a train, you see, to go to his office where she works, right? And the trains takes time to get to her office. So she doesn't live in the city because she goes to the city to work, right? So she lives in the, suburbs because this is not the countryside, because what she says has nothing to do with the countryside. Okay, so number one, speaker one, we put that corresponds to letter B, the suburbs, speaker one. What about the speaker two? What about the speaker two? Important things about the speaker two. He says that where he lives, maybe there's no one else his age nearby. When he says that when he has the possibility to go out at night, he can't get home because there is no public, transport. So, and he says, he's not sure that there is much fresh air either, because the farmer, that he lives next door, put some strong chemicals, right, on the fields in summer. So he says that he loves his school though. So where does the speaker two live? Speaker two, in the city or in the countryside?
In the countryside.
Yeah, in the countryside. Why? Miss Cornejo, why does he live in the countryside? Why did you identify that?
Because he said there's no public transportation.
Yeah, exactly, because there is no public transportation. When he, for example, wants to go out, maybe it's a problem for him because there's no public transport. All right. What about speaker three? There is no other possibility, right? So the only possibility we have is the city. So the speaker three lives in the city. And he says that everyone says that it must be expensive living in the city. Okay, but he says that there are really high rents where he lives, but he saves money on other things. For example, he takes public transport and he says he saves money with this. And he lives in a flat. Flat means in English an apartment, right? That's the synonym. Flat is an apartment that people use this word in England, in Great Britain, right? In England, British people use flat for apartment. American people use apartment, okay? But that is a flat. So he lives in a small flat and his heating bills are tiny. Heating bills are tiny. So what does it mean? That he pays, not much money in the heating bills. because it's tiny. Es pequeñita su cuenta de heating, o sea, de la calefacción, right? Heating bills are tiny, he says. And he lives in a lively neighborhood, you know, and he knows the people who run the cafe downstairs, you see, so he can go in at any time. I fancy a chat, and which just I laugh. Okay, so these are the three things that we just listened. Now let's do this exercise number 7. Match the sentences, the sentence beginnings 1-5 with endings AF. Then listen again. This has to do with the listening, right? So let's see. Number 1, yeah, pay attention to number 1. What does it say, number 1? Number 1 says, there isn't a lot, yeah, there isn't a lot of what? From anywhere, nothing to do. There isn't a lot. Neighbors, rents where I live, going on where I live, shops near my house, neighborhood. There aren't any local from
Shops
anywhere.
near my house.
Number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
What is number 1? There isn't.
Ah, no.
Yeah, there aren't.
Neighbors.
There isn't a lot. Yeah, it has to do with something singular. Tiene que ser algo singular porque dice there isn't. Uno tiene que fijarse en todo. There isn't a lot. There isn't a lot. According to the listening, de acuerdo a la lectura, no la lectura, a la audición, there isn't a lot. Debería ser there isn't a lot going on where I live. La letra D de dedo, there isn't a lot going on where I live. There isn't a lot going on where I live. Then I'm going to explain why. Number 2, there aren't any local what? I need something in plural. Necesito algo en plural porque dice there aren't any local
shops.
Yeah, good. Shops, right? Shops. Shops near my house. There aren't any local shops near my house. 3, I have friendly. Necesito algo en plural. I have friendly. Friendly means nice people, kind people, friendly.
Neighbors.
Yeah, neighbors, good, neighbors. So letter B, I have friendly neighbors. My family lives miles
From anywhere?
Yeah, from anywhere. Good, from anywhere. So this is the guy that lives in the countryside. There are really high, yeah, there are really high. Remember that the guy explained that some people think it's expensive to live in the city. So there are really high what? It's expensive, but he says that he saves money. Él ahorra plata in the transport because the place where he lives are expensive. So what is correct here? There are really high what? Rents. Good. There are really high rents. Letter C. Rents where I live. Good. Number 6 says I live in a lively. Lively means with a lot of life, with a lot of, activity, lively. In a lively
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood, correct, neighborhood. Okay, so I'm going to check it again. So number 1 goes with letter D. So as for you to check it, number one, there is a lot, there isn't a lot, goes with letter D, 1D. Number 2, there aren't any local, letter E, local shops near my house. 3, I have friendly, letter B, friendly neighbors. 4, my family lives miles letter A, miles from anywhere. There are really high rents where I live, letter C. Finally, number 6, I live in a lively, letter F, neighborhood, right? Okay, speaking, work in pairs. Are the sentences in activity 7 true for all of you here? These sentences, are they true or not? Yeah, for example, in my case, I'm going to tell you that I live in a lively neighborhood. Means that in the place where I live, I have some cafes near my apartment, and I also have maybe I could say one restaurant that is about 5 blocks from here. So it's a lively neighborhood. And I have I have to tell you that I have friendly neighbors. Friendly neighbors. I love my neighbors because they are young people. Both of them are studying. One is studying at Valparaiso University, and the other one has just finished her studies at the same university, Valparaiso University. So now she's working in Santiago, but she travels every day. And he is still studying at Valparaiso University. He's a very nice, very nice student. So I really love him. What about you, baby? Another thing that I can tell you that here, for example, there aren't any, for example, there aren't any supermarket near my apartment. There aren't any supermarkets near my apartment. There are only small shops, but not supermarket. What about you? What are the things that are true for you? True about these things? Or there isn't a lot of going on where I live? There isn't a lot going on. The idea is that there isn't a lot, no hay mucho donde ir, right? There isn't a lot going on where I live, donde vivo. There isn't a lot going on where I live. Okay, what about you, babies? What about Karen, Gabriela, Axel, Krishna, etc.? Javiera, what are the things that are true for you? Do you have friendly neighbors or not?
Yeah, I have friendly neighbors, and I also live in a lively neighborhood.
Okay. Good. And a question for you, Javiera. Javiera, are there lots of shops where you live or near your house?
Like local shops, like negocios de barrio.
Yeah, local shops, small shops. Yeah. Okay. And is there a supermarket where you live?
No.
There isn't. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So you have to go to the city center.
Yes.
You need to go to a supermarket. Okay. And what about you, Karen Elizabeth? Karen, do you live, does your family live miles, for example, miles from anywhere? It means that far away from anywhere? Does your family live miles from everywhere?
No, in my case, it's everything.
Yeah.
Like 12 or 15 minutes. The supermarket is kind of near, but they are really high rents. Because it's new. The houses are kind of new, so it's so expensive.
It's expensive. Okay. All right. And what about you, Danai? What about your neighbors? Are there local shops near your house? Or what about the rents? Are the rents high where you live? Is your neighborhood lively?
My neighbors are pretty friendly. I live in an apartment, so I have a lot of neighbors.
Yeah. And do you
And
do you see them very often?
yes, yes, because we share the same garden and also
Yeah.
where we park the cars. We
Yeah.
share all these things.
Yeah, the parking lot. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how to describe my neighborhood because I live in a población.
Yeah. Okay.
There is it's just a few local shops and there is public transport, but it's near the city, but not that near. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that near. All right. This is correct. Mm-hmm.
And
Do you have the night public transport every day? I mean, from early in the morning till late at night?
yes, I live in near where the public transportation
Runs.
passes.
Runs.
Yes,
Okay.
runs.
All right. So this is something good. Something is an advantage, right? This is an advantage. Okay. And do you, for example, in your case, do you have to pay high bills, expensive bills in the apartment? Because I live in an apartment, and sometimes the light bill is very expensive here. I don't know why.
No, we don't have like to pay that kind of bills.
Yeah.
Because we rent.
Yeah. You rent. Yeah.
No, we rent the parking lot, like the community.
Yes.
So
yes.
they pay the public water and
Yeah.
light just with that.
Okay. Right. So that's something good. That's something positive. Okay. Good. And what about Axel? Axel, can you tell me about the place where you live? Can you describe the place? If you have, for example, if there are local, shops near the place where you live, or do you have to take a bus to go to a place to buy things? What about your neighborhood? If your neighbors live near you or far away from you? Axel? Axel, I think is I don't know if he's there. Axel, are you listening to me? I guess he's not listening to me now, or maybe he left. All right, so let's continue with another student. Gabriela, what about you, Gabriela?
He left.
Okay, yeah, maybe he has a problem now, or he has to go to another place. All right, or any person, for example, you see, we have other students here that I cannot see because I have the book here. So maybe you can tell me, the people who have not participated, you can tell me about the place where you live. If you live where you live, if you have to, if you live miles from anywhere, or if you live near, you see everywhere, and if you have a friendly neighbors, and if your neighborhood is lively, or is a quiet neighborhood, tranquilito, quiet neighborhood, and you have lots of facilities in the city you live in, etc. So, can you tell me, please, the people that are here who have not participated in this moment?
In my case,
yeah,
I live in the center of the city.
Nice.
So everything is near of my apartment.
Fantastic. Okay. And what about
and the neighborhood is good.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is older here, so there is no, ¿cómo se dice? Ruidos molestosos o cosas así.
Okay, yeah. So the neighborhood is not noisy. It's not noisy. No es ruidoso tu barrio.
Exactly.
The neighborhood is not noisy. Okay, good. So this is a good neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood. Yeah. All right, good. Okay, so let's continue with the number 9 then. It says, which do you think is better? Yeah, here this is a good question. What is better? Living in the country, in the suburbs, or in the city? Use these ideas. For example, distance you travel every day, method of travel, What does it say there? Size of home, lifestyle, effect on the environment, and shopping. You can talk about these things, right? Maybe public transport, entertainment facilities. What about the climate? What about the forests? What about the mountains? What about your neighbors? What about the shops, etc.? You can tell me whatever you want. What is better? What do you think is better? Living there in the country, in the suburbs, or in the city? What about the distance you travel every day? For example, when people live in the suburbs, I think it's better to live in the suburbs because maybe the lifestyle is, let's say, it's calm. There is no noise there. We have, for example, let's say sometimes is the countryside is not polluted. We have, public transport, but the bad thing is that the buses run only every 1 hour. So the system of transport is not very good, especially on weekends when you, for example, if you want to go out, you are not going to find, you see, public transport to return. So this is something that is bad. Okay, so Danai, what do you prefer, Danai? Living in the city, in the countryside, or in the suburbs, according to you? And you have to explain why.
I prefer to live in the suburbs because it's quiet, not too much noise, like in the city, but it's not too far from the city, so you can just take public transportation to go wherever you need. And I think it's comfortable to be there. You have a neighborhood, so you can visit your neighbors. You have people living nearby.
Yes.
Not like in the countryside where you live kind of alone.
Yeah, all right. Yes. Okay. Okay, and you, Karen, what do you think? What is better for you? What do you think is better? Living in the country?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
Because the city of my place, it's quiet.
Yeah.
But if you think on Santiago,
in Santiago,
live in the city must be very noisy, but even the suburbs are too far, so it depends.
Yeah.
But I like most the city.
Yeah.
I lived in the city when I was in Spain, and I like more the city.
Okay. And where do you live now? Do you live in Valparaiso? Or in what?
I live in Quillota.
Ah, in Quillota. Okay. Quillota is a nice city to live in, I think.
It's small.
It's small, yeah. But it has
so everything is near.
Yeah, everything is near. Something good. Yeah. And you have good places, for example, also to go in summer. You have a beautiful place to go. Oh, there is a dog. Who has that dog? There is a dog that is
mine. I have 2 dogs. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Okay.
But they are so small.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And Javiera, what do you prefer? Javiera, do you prefer living in the city too, or in the suburbs, or in the countryside?
I would like to live in the countryside. I know it's a difficult life, but I really love being in the campo.
In the countryside, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to have or would you like to to grow, for example, to grow vegetables and these kind of things, and to grow trees, for example, where you can have fresh, fruit and fresh vegetables. That is nice. I love the countryside too, but I think it's difficult. It's not easy, right?
It's a difficult life.
Yeah, but it's nice. I think it's a good place also, especially when we are getting older. Maybe we start, living in a place like this because I live in the city, right? I like the city, but sometimes, I get like maybe tired of living here because every time that I leave my apartment, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to find in the city center, right? For example, sometimes I find people that are protesting, so I have to return and to try to look for another way in order to get to the place where I work. So it's very disgusting and it's very tiring, right? So you never know if, well, sometimes we find accidents, for example, in the road, especially on España Avenue. And when we have an accident, sometimes we have, traffic jams. So we are stuck in traffic for almost 1 hour and sometimes more. So people arrive at their places of work very late. So that's why this is something that I think maybe you can feel like exhausted of living in the city. Or on the other hand, you have lots of advantages because you find almost everything in the city, right? So this is something like very good. But another thing that I don't like it now is that there are lots of cars, lots of buses that when you leave the place where you work and you want to arrive at your house on time or at least not very late, you never arrive, on time at your house because you always find traffic jams that it takes you more than an hour. It's like going from Playa Ancha to Santiago. It takes an hour and a half sometimes to get home. So that is something that I don't like now, but I like the noise, for example. I like the noise of the city. I like the lights of the city. I like, seeing lots of people going around. But also, I would live in the countryside someday. But I don't know if I'm going to get used to. That's the only thing. Okay, babies. So let's see. So here, this activity, we're going to do it here. We have to go to this part. We're going to do it tomorrow, right? Because maybe you're a little bit tired and we're almost on time. Maybe you have classes at 12:45, 1:45, right? So I'm going to stop here. And tomorrow we are going to do this page, right? And we're going to try to finish this section. Okay, so today I have to congratulate you because I think that most of you, even Axel, was very good today. So this is something that I like when people start talking because it means that you are learning, right? So congratulations again. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good afternoon. All right. So,
Bye, Miss. Thank
bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
Have a nice day.
You. Thank you so much. Try to
Yes,
meet her here. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Matías no se ha ido. Ahí sí.